I'm trying out now the rugged phone. It's raining outside, but the rugged phone doesn't mind the little water on it. It's very nice weather. It's uh, very tiny rain. I don't know if it's visible on camera, but rugged phone doesn't have very good camera and sensitivity. So I tried inside the cave with artificial light, but it's not good enough. I do need some sunlight to be visible. Anyway, as I was in the last video already talking about my refugee stories and refugee camp stories, and I'm into that talk, then I will continue on that topic and let the cryptography tutorials wait a bit because I last week, this week actually, I reached out to some new friends who may be able to find some soundproof studio, so I don't have to cut in the middle of recording due to the noises. But I don't want to waste time for nothing. I'm just now talking then some other interesting things. But cryptography also, I always repeat, there is a book already with everything out there, so you can get all the information what you need to understand that. What I'll be making tutorials about. Just for lazier people, it will be easier to understand, I guess, or busier people. I don't want to put everybody into a basket of laziness. Let me see if I can see. I haven't almost ever used this camera, so I don't know, or I just don't remember how well it will show after, or how good the sound will be. But yeah, actually, I must stop it now just to verify the sound, and then I will continue. Let me see. It's raining heavier now. I'm testing the backlight, the back camera of this rugged phone, how it will show after. Sound is alright, I already listened to that. So I verified first sections of test recordings that I can't really complain about quality for my talking head stories. So I'm enjoying the rain, which I can't do with the security camera because it's not rainproof. Well, the stories about my political activity. Well, let's make it clear. Until 2003, I wasn't aware about global issues very much. I was back in my country and mostly thinking about issues in my country and writing articles about corruption which I met there because I had a business and to get some licenses I needed to pay to government, uh, bribe government, which I wasn't willing to do, and I was very young then, 20 to 23 years old when I run several businesses there. And I was green and naive. I didn't know that after collapse of Soviet Union, such a corruption continues in my country, and to my knowledge, to this day, but on high level. On low level, corruption is cut due to the internet restrictions that you can't take bribes, but the high level it goes on as always for licenses and permissions and so etc. Anyway, so I left country because of the danger, but but writing of articles brought upon me. But I already told about my life story back in my country in other videos, which you can watch all the videos on the same channel, I think, where I put up this video. And in 2003, I was already in asylum, asking asylum, and being rejected several times since I left in 1998 my country. And after the 2001, where was Twin Towers attacked, and police started to look supposed terrorists all over Europe, and I was working illegally. Estonia wasn't still part of um, European Union. It was free movement, but I couldn't really live there unless I had made my residency there, which wasn't easy. So I was working black, and my boss said to me, "Listen, now after 9/11, the police is everywhere looking for illegal, so you better leave. I can't employ you anymore." I was working in a night bar as a security guard and also in the kitchen daytime, washing dishes and helping to prepare food as a right hand to a chef. So I left, and I left to Japan. And in Japan, I asked asylum. I spent there 1.5 years, and I worked for TV as well there, a part of being security guard for TV commercials and TV documentaries. And but I wasn't still aware about all the big things went on behind the wars there in 2003 when it began, Iraq war. So what I did then, I began on free time looking for internet, and actually it started from I happened to look into fake moon landing videos, and then I got into all kind of alternative theories of politics and etc. It's a long story, but anyway, when I started to publish all this material, which wasn't available to that time still, even 2004, when I went back to France and I was sharing actively DVDs back then with these collected documentaries, alternative documentaries, which um, you never heard about these stories on mainstream. So what I ended up doing then, just talking to people, explaining the WatchFest videos, and printed myself DVDs, hundreds of them, and sharing them. And back then, people weren't so aware like now. No, what you talking? America is democracy. You are losing your mind. There is no corruption in America. Now you're laughing, but back then people were even scared to talk to me. Some of them thought that I lost my mind. But I learned from that, and how to even put people watch these videos, because nobody didn't want to listen, didn't want to watch the videos in 2003, 2004, and so on, 2005. And I don't remember which year it was, either 2006. So I did for during that 10 years actively sharing information on my websites and DVDs, and I found very good solution to get people involved. And I started it back in Spain, but later I applied the same technique in other countries as well. So I think it was 2008 when I realized that people still are not aware, many of them, what's going on in politics. And I found the employment website, and I started to look for translators. And I received translators from English to Spanish. And I received hundreds and hundreds of curriculums. And what I did, I sent them back the links to my website and asking them, "Are you able to translate this kind of film to Spanish?" And when I got also into several meetings in political activist and always sharing it. I think I had a pretty good um, impact on that activity. And after, when I was already in Finland in 2011, and the Occupy movement started, and I was involved in sharing information and trying to be active, but I was put in hospital then on fake charges, so and medicated very hard. But you can read about it in my book on cryptography. I have a little chapter on it where I explain my life. So not in deep, but just to give some break from cryptography. There is some 10 pages about my activity, political activity, and results, what I gained from that. So what else? In London, when I went to UK, I was camping with Trafalgar Square with all the activists, but it was different crowd. I wouldn't do any revolution with this crowd. It's irresponsible, yeah. And few people. I found some friends who were responsible and serious about all this political movement, but main crowd who were at night, they were supposed to protect the camping, the tent city there. There was night watch, like 10 people who were around the campfire and watching, but nothing happens to the tent city. And so many people left the Trafalgar Square. It was boring night. We only talked about politics and some anecdotes maybe, but some people just didn't respect the responsibilities. We went around to it was very cold, that it was ice, and we went to skating square and incorporate land, and to provoke them. It belongs to us, it belongs to people, and there were such stupid things which I just witnessed. I went there. I wasn't uh, supporting them, but I couldn't really run away or start to tell them anyway that you're wrong completely. I try to explain softly, let's say that way, but uh, these were just irresponsible people, opportunistic to have some show, and just to make mess. Let's put it that way. So in just a few days, I realized it's the wrong crowd. I don't want to hang out with them. And when I left UK, as soon as I could, I didn't have much money, but my friends who I knew for 10 decades already, they helped me to buy a ticket and get out of there. So and so on. So I mean, there are certain techniques which you can apply even today. In Canada, I applied also this technique of on websites to look for translators, for example. And you can do the same if you are politically active. You want somebody to know. Find unemployed people who are desperate, who need, and they will get more into politics than the people who have everything what they need. So, but just little tricking is necessary to get people aware who in busy times people don't want to think maybe so much about politics, but when you give them a hint where the problems come from, they will get involved, and the hard way. So just put up. Uh, Today everybody knows it's not gonna work on documentaries like I did, but similar ideas you can find how to get people involved, how to make people aware that something is happening in the world, to be activist. I mean, militant. So that's my little story how I got. Maybe that's why I had the results of being tracked and being followed and being uh, surrounded, even in the bank, taking out my money with anti-terrorist squad with machine guns and all kind of stuff. I gave them some hints in my book. So look, I don't know if I can show it like this. This website, it's not very bright the screen. So have a look on my website to download the cryptography book, and somewhere in the page 100 or so there is about 10 pages of story what happened to me due to my political activity. But yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't regret anything. I don't regret anything. It wasn't always easy, but it was also fun. And in 2006, I think, before I got so much involved, I was really scared. I was scared that world is turning into fascism, beginning from America. And many politicians, famous politicians, left America then to Mexico because they were thinking that America is becoming a fascist dictatorship very soon. And I was scared that it's all gonna trickle down to Europe, and it's gonna be the same thing, uh, complete disaster. And then I just had to do that. I had to get involved in politics because, okay, people who didn't know, I can't blame them because they didn't believe. But as I knew what's going on, I did a lot of study, a lot of research. I selected the best documentaries, nothing like shouting and naming of names, but really concrete, proof laden, and logically connected, and with common sense documentaries which were very consistent and made the point very clear about what happened in 9/11, etc., and who benefited from that, and the reasons for wars, etc., etc. So all this information, like hundreds of documentaries, a long list I had on my website, and even I was tried to be blocked when I had a WordPress. Used WordPress after my personal website. I was uh, tried to be blocked by some um, third parties which weren't named, but then WordPress uh, fought for my activity because I was just sharing information and links. I didn't publish myself in documentaries, and I got me back online. And a big respect to WordPress team. Then I'm still using WordPress because this was for a long time after all the other like YouTube and Facebook and all the other platforms. They started censorship. Facebook, the WordPress was the only one which allowed to do, at least from those what I know, who allowed to share information which was blocked on any other platform. So even my old RIP website, www.old.rip, this is this is WordPress platform. I got the domain name from WordPress, so I paid for it, and I just changed the name to this shorter one. And I left the older one, which this one is paid, but the older ones I used for 10 years, which were more than 10 years. I stopped a couple of older websites which were supported by advertisement. Only bad thing on WordPress was that it was too much advertisement inside my articles, like seamlessly integrated, and it became confusing. Things that I didn't want to be there, just publicity of some companies. But then I decided that I have to start a paid website, so I don't have any more other advertisements from third parties. So I'm still active, but I'm very interested in science, and reasons for that I already told. I want to live for hundreds of years. Science is getting there. I'm trying to keep me as healthy as possible, and for that, to know what exactly to do, I need to know physics. I need to know biology, latest understandings about how body functions, and biology, physiology, and and even quantum physics, because it's part of physics, which is still a big part, especially how mind controls the quantum physics, and through the quantum physics controls your how to say touchable physics, or physics what we see with our naked eyes. So that's why I'm not into much politics anymore, because my job was done. I am glad for a little part I did in that big push for information sharing, and now I'm more concentrated on my personal health getting it to the top, and staying as healthy as possible until the science gets to the point that they can prolong your life as long as you wish. So that's my main goal now. But when there is something interesting in politics, I still keep sharing. I can't shut up, when I think that it's necessary. That something is wrong in news, and there are better opinions and better connections made, connecting the dots about what's going on in the world. So I'm using opportunity to promote my website again, and against the sun, I don't even see my screen very much, but this is not very bright. This phone is just cheap phone, but it doesn't matter. Even I bought it second hand, but it does its job. So anyway, if I have something more to tell, of course I will share, but I'll try to be more concise next time. I'm learning. I'm not used to talk very much. I have to learn that. So that's my practice. What I'm doing now before I start professional tutorials for my photography. You see, even my voice goes away because I'm not trained to talk long.